Firstly, I'm very sorry that I can't be with you in person today to deliver this speech. I'm attending the Liberal Democrat Party conference, which unfortunately clashes with this meeting. But I was determined to support this crucial event if I possibly could. So I'm delighted that through the benefits of new technology, I can be with you as a virtual Transport Minister. The Coalition Government's most urgent priorities are tackling the debt crisis, rebuilding the economy and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Transport has a crucial role to play in all these areas, but encouraging a more sustainable approach to transport at local levels will be equally crucial in the years ahead. Making local transport cleaner and greener, improving air quality, tackling congestion, changing the way people travel, benefiting people's health, reducing the travel bills of hard-up families through more physical activities like cycling and walking, avoiding the damage to our towns, cities and rural areas that badly planned local transport can cause, and combating social exclusion by making local transport more accessible, giving disadvantaged people better access to jobs and key services. For all these reasons, the Coalition Government is committed to supporting sustainable local travel. Now, many of you will be eager to know about the landscape for local transport funding after the spending review and what this will mean for you. You'll understand that the challenges of the fiscal deficit mean that we have to think about all transport priorities very carefully. With departmental allocations being announced in the spending review on October the 20th, we should have a clear idea of our spending plans going forward by the end of the year. But I want to make it absolutely clear that our determination to empower local authorities to make the sustainable transport decisions that are right for their area is key. As you'll be aware, the department will no longer monitor local authorities' local transport plans, and we want to devolve power and financial autonomy to local authorities. We're considering what can be done to make comparable data available to allow local authorities to be held to account by local people instead of by Whitehall. I'm a passionate believer in localism, having been a county councillor, a leader of my district council, as well as a parish council for 16 years. And I know that you know your own communities and understand the issues and challenges you face far better than ministers or civil servants sitting in Whitehall. So we're ending the era of top-down control, of centrally imposed governance, and replacing it with a new model, allowing local people the freedom to take their own decisions, for example by encouraging councils to work together and share best practice with each other from the ground up. Of course, you're already ahead of the game. By engaging voluntarily in CIVINET to share best practice on reducing congestion and carbon emissions and improving health and air quality, you've taken a lead and set an example that I hope other local authorities and regions will follow. That's why I'm very keen to learn in more detail what your network's been doing and what your plans are for the future. Now, just as you've got good practice to be shared, it's equally important that those of you in CIVINET are able to benefit from good practice elsewhere in the country. I often quote the Cookmere Community Bus Scheme in my own constituency as an example of how smarter travel can be successful in a rural area. Individuals living in the Cookmere Valley have come together to plan effective bus routes, taking village people to their nearest towns for shopping, doctor's appointments or for local events, and these services are provided entirely by volunteers. I believe that partnership working to create better local bus services is of critical importance. My vision for the future is one where successful bus operators and local authorities link up to attract more passengers and introduce more environmentally friendly vehicles to the fleet. I recently announced an additional £15 million of government funding for a fleet of low-carbon buses, which will save around 50,000 tonnes of carbon dioxide over a 15-year period. I'm also very keen to see the faster rollout of smart ticketing across England, because this offers huge potential benefits for passengers, local authorities and operators, helping to integrate different modes of transport and making journeys easier. And end-to-end journeys can be improved, so people aren't discouraged by public transport that only serves part of their journey, or journeys where there are too many changes to make public transport a viable option. I'm challenging the train and bus companies and those involved in cycling and car hire to improve facilities for more integrated transport and to focus on delivering more efficient end-to-end journeys. And I recognise the importance of promoting other sustainable travel initiatives such as walking, cycling, car sharing and car clubs. I'm also keen to fulfil my new role as Minister for Alternatives to Travel, a first for the Department for Transport. The video technology I'm using today is just one of the many ways for businesses, employers or indeed ministers to reduce the need for journeys. Imagine the benefits if more people could work from home, say 1 day in 10, or if more staff could stagger their commutes and break out of the usual 9 to 5 routine, or if more executives could use video conferencing instead of flying to meetings abroad. These are the sorts of benefits I want to encourage with my new brief, a brief that was welcomed recently by the Campaign for Better Transport as a huge step forward, and by the CBI, who said, "We agree there needs to be big changes to the way we work and commute." I have highlighted just some of the measures that I hope to encourage across the country in the months and years ahead. But I'm convinced there is a wealth of innovative ideas out there that have yet to be explored. And they are your ideas. I want local authorities to be freed up to be the greatest innovators of all in transport. As members of CIVINET here today, you've demonstrated your capacity to innovate and your commitment to transport being smarter and more sustainable. You've also shown leadership in successfully delivering sustainable travel initiatives in your local areas and coming together to share them with other local authorities. I very much hope that CIVINET and all its members can build on this impressive record and play an even more influential role in the future. And I very much look forward to working with you in the months and years ahead. Thanks very much.